So a couple things to think about before you go live. There's really three things you want to think about: content, cadence, and distribution.
Yep.
So the first thing is content. Why are you streaming? What are you streaming? So, before we did this webinar today, we just put our heads together, we created this deck that you can see, and we talked through the slides. We wanted to make sure that we were prepared when we came to you live, essentially, to do this webinar. And the thing is, when it's live, you only get one shot.
So your jokes have to be funny.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really important to, the great thing about live is the immediacy, the authenticity. So you don't want it to be too scripted. We don't have a teleprompter or anything in front of us, but you want to make sure that it's engaging, the content is structured, people have something to watch, right?
Yeah. So the point here is just take some time to think about what types of content you want to stream. Planning is essential, and just think about it beforehand so that you can put something together.
So what can you stream? A lot of people come to us and they say, I have one event a year. I want to stream that. And really, that's great. It's a great place to start. But we think there's a lot of other opportunities you can use that live streaming package for. So a lot of people use live stream for internal communications, streaming their all hands meetings to global meetings around the world. Streaming trainings, if you have, again, global offices, you could do one training and you could involve everybody around the world at the same time. And then you have an on-demand version of that training so you don't have to record it again.
Yeah.
Conferences and any speakers you bring into your office, sometimes we have guest speakers at Livestream, and we'll stream those talks in our New York office. You can also create exclusive content for customers, whether that's behind the scenes content or a product reveal, anything that will help them be more engaged with you and your brand. You can stream webinars like we're doing today.
We are.
You can do executive fireside chats internally or externally. And then you can also create video snippets for social media, which is a great way to drive your audience wherever you'd like them to go.
Yeah, and the reason that we're talking about what types of content you can stream, you may be thinking to yourself, I get it, I've got these events, I don't really need to be pitched on all these different types of opportunities that need to be live streamed. The reason is because live video is more engaging, that's why. Obviously, we're called Livestream, so we believe in this already, but the reason that you want to think about a strategy to produce live content is because people watch it longer, they're more engaged with it, and then they can do things that you want them to do, hopefully.
So how frequently should you stream? We find it's really effective if you stream regularly, especially if you want to build an audience around that live stream. So for example, at Livestream, we do 2 webinars a month that we live stream. We internally stream our all hands every week.
We sure do.
And then any conferences and events we do or special events in the office we'll stream as well. So it's just good to sort of, when you're getting into this, to think like, okay, how often can we do this? What's the bandwidth? What's the support like? And try to think about, what makes sense for your team, for your organization.
I don't think you need to do it every day, but I think a regular cadence, if you're a marketer, is really important, and that's what we try to do as well.
So we have a question coming in. Again, if you have questions, we'll try to answer them in real time. When a remote site does not have internet, what Wi-Fi services would you suggest to use? Are MiFi devices, Verizon Jetpack sufficient? I think you need to have internet to stream. And I'm not sure a MiFi would be enough. It really depends on the quality of the stream. But the internet is sort of your main component when it comes to streaming. That's the one thing you really need to have enough bandwidth, because not only does it affect the quality of the stream, but also how many people can watch. There's a lot of things to take into consideration. So what we suggest is if you're working with a remote site that does not have internet, that you stream it from another location and then present that on demand to the remote location without the Wi-Fi. I know that we've done, our production team has used satellite trucks in the past.
If you're trying to watch, it's different than if you're trying to stream. If the place where you're streaming from, the origin, doesn't have internet, then you're going to need a bonded connection. And you can get that bonded connection that cobbles together available spectrum from Wi-Fi, from data plans, if you're using something like a Livestream Studio encoder or a Live U unit or something like that. If you're just trying to watch, then hopefully the origin site is streaming at an adaptive bit rate. And then you can... You
could use a mobile device for that.
That's right. You can just watch on your phone, basically. So adaptive bit rate means you're streaming up in one signal, and then in the cloud, we're figuring out what's the right signal for the viewer to be able to process and watch on their phone or their device, and then they can watch it. So it's going to be a lower quality if you only have access to an AT&T or Verizon data plan, but watching in a remote location isn't as difficult as long as you can get the stream up into the cloud.
Got another question coming in hot.
Here we go.
This slide presentation will be available. We're going to post the video after this, and we'll send that to everybody who RSVP'd. And we'll also pop this into SlideShare and share
Great.
it with all of you.
Oh, that's nice of us.
So going back to our deck, distribution is another important thing you need to think about. Just because you're streaming it doesn't mean people are going to watch it, right? You gotta go out and find that audience. So you want to think about: are you streaming to your website? Are you streaming to a social platform? Are you streaming to both? Do you have a hashtag to create a conversation around your live stream, or a comment section like we're using today, where someone can moderate and share those chats so you can answer them in real time?
We found, by the way, that chat moderation is very important because sometimes people say things that are not appropriate in the chat.
It's true. And on live stream, you can moderate your chat. It's
That's
a great
very
feature.
good.
Great feature. Another thing that we encourage people to do, which we did for this webinar today, is to promote the stream via email. Make sure people know what time to tune in, because the whole point of watching live is to watch it live. So
That's
people got
right.
to know when it starts. And then post-event, we suggest you recap the event, share the stream with your viewers, so that way you get some more juice out of it in its on-demand life. But again, all these three decisions, content, cadence, and distribution, should be locked in before you push that live button.